How you doing, YouTube? It's Will Development. This is my 329th weekly update. Gonna try to keep this one short and sweet today, just because, I haven't been lately. So I'll do my best here. Just get right into it. On Monday, I did squats, and it was a heavy day for squats. It was sets of three, and I worked up to a set of three at 325, which actually felt pretty good. I felt very, what's the word? I guess prepared for that, and very happy to do it. 2 reps look good, 1 rep, but that's okay. I was very happy with it, and I decided to do some of the Bavarian deadlifts for the comp coming up, and I ended up doing comp weight for 10 with a setup that I felt was close to what comp might be. It was right around my shoelaces, and I have Denny rings, so had 270 on the loading pin and boxes and what do you call them, the bumper plates and stuff to stack up, and I think I got to the right height, and the weight felt honestly fine. Form never broke down. Did 3 sets of 10. Felt like I had more in me if I had to, that sort of thing. Definitely want to try to grease the groove a little bit more on that movement, because certain parts of my body were definitely feeling it differently than I normally would. Definitely a little more in my glutes and my rear delts. I actually felt it. Hands felt fine throughout the movement. Probably day of the comp I will do a hook grip, but I was just doing them just double overhand, and they felt fine and strong. So good news there. Let's see. Tuesday, pressing sets of 5. Very excited with sets of 5. I like sets of 5 on stuff. Worked up to 175 for a set of 3. The only set of 5 I actually managed to get was about 165. And I wanted more, and I felt like I had more, but that's just not the way it worked. So I guess it's about 160 for 5s, which is fine. I was feeling really run down by Tuesday, and then even Thursday I still felt really weird. I wasn't necessarily tired, I just didn't feel strong. So I kind of cut myself a little slack. That's where I always talk about consistency, because you can afford to have a bad day here and there. It's not going to ruin your life. So instead I just focused on my accessory movements a little bit more, and did things like strict curls, which I was able to do 160 beltless strict for a single, for 3 singles actually, and it was totally fine and easy. I probably could have done 165, which felt good. Did the stone press, which when I first done it, I was only able to get 3 total reps out of like 8 cleans I did. And then on Tuesday when I did it, I was able to do 2 sets of 2 with it, meaning did 1, put it down, did it again, and my second set was actually like butter. So I'm getting better at the movement, which is good. Tomorrow I'm going out to the gym that's putting on the comp and actually playing with the actual stone, which is shaped differently than mine. I'm hoping it'll be easier to press because it's not as big. It's like taller, so it's not as wide and long, so I won't have to do as much of a layback with it. But I may still do it. We'll see how it goes. Either way, the weight is not the problem. It's just the awkwardness and the size of the implements. So hopefully with a smaller stone, I can maybe get away with using even less energy and giving myself better chance at it. Let's just put it that way. Like I said, yesterday was really rough. I was trying to work up to a set of 7, and the only set of 7 I actually did get was like 250. I wanted to do like 275 or 295. When I had 275 on there, I did it for a set of 5 just as a warm-up thing, because I usually do the same reps, but I've started sort of when I'm doing those heavier weights there, as I get closer to the top, I'm like, all right, you're going to expend too much energy doing this, so let's just do 3 or 4 of that. And those felt kind of okay, and when I put 295 on the bar and went down and just did 1, and I was just like, this isn't happening today. That 295 about killed me. Excuse me. It's just the way it was. So instead I did some more deadlift work, and I worked up to a couple singles at 425, and they felt good and fine. And then did some bear squats, and instead I did my sets of 7 there with 400 on the bear squat. Slightly different. I don't know what it translates to in real life, but it wasn't easy, but I did them. And then tonight went really well, actually. I was planning on doing 245 for 9s on bench, and I actually worked up to a set of 250 for 9, and I honestly probably had one more in the tank. So that felt good to know that I'm kind of closer to where I used to be. That'll probably be one of the last sort of lighter bench days. And because I'm good at bench, I decided to superset it with pull-ups too. So every set of bench I did, which I did 5 total sets, I also did 5 sets of pull-ups, did 9 of them. And then dumbbell work, just some accessory stuff on the side to work on the shoulders a little bit more. Like I said, I'm going to be training tomorrow, a little more event work, so I didn't want to really, really burn myself out. So it was much more bodybuilding style. I may be sore tomorrow, but I don't anticipate being weak. So that's what I'm shooting for anyway. We'll see how that actually goes, right? Other than that, okay start, rough middle, good end of the week. No complaints. That's how they go sometimes. You know, you'll have 3 good weeks in a row, and then sometimes you'll have 3 bad days in a row, and it's just the way it goes sometimes. And you just kind of got to adjust things as they go and take it on the chin sometimes. And that's why I always preach consistency. Because even if you step in the gym after, let's say, 3, you take a week off and you get back in, everything feels good, that next week it may not feel good. Hell, it may feel good for the next 2 months, and then all of a sudden you just have a month where everything is just terrible. And when you're consistent with it, like I try to be and like I believe I am, even when you have those 3 days that are bad, you know a week or 2 is coming up where it's going to be great. And those are the sort of training days you live for and training weeks you live for. You end up with it where basically you don't get bombarded by a month of bad training. It gets condensed down to 3 or 4 days in a month. And those things happen. And the goal is to try to have as few of those days as possible, obviously. But these things happen to the best of everybody. It's just, external stressors and everything. I've never heard of anybody who's just consistently having good training days. It just doesn't happen. And that's just reality. And the more consistent you are, the more likelihood you are to have more good training days than bad ones. So consistency is key. And if you're not consistent, and I've said it before, even if you're following a terrible program but you're consistent with it, you're still going to do better than following the best program in the world but only doing it once a week like you're supposed to. You know what I mean? Versus what you're supposed to do. Anyway, be consistent. And if you're not, then what's your excuse?